Good evening and welcome to Just Seriously Voicing Thoughts with me, Kriss Venugopal. And today we are into serious business because we're going to just seriously talk about human relationship. And we have the pleasure of having Jimon Mantra, relationship coach and a certified transactional analysis trainer, certified by ICTA, the International Chapter for Transactional Analysis. And I would say, my dear mentor. Welcome to the show, sir.
So thank you so much, Chris. I feel so happy to be here on this platform, sharing this platform with you. And let me extend my gratitude to all those who have joined us for this evening.
And really, let me add thank you, Soumya, Parvati, Lasar, Fanaki, Semi, Rachel Desi, Kabir, Nitya Gopi, Anupurian, and VH who have joined us on the onset itself. Let me begin with a very simple thought. The Canadian, I would say, psychologist or a person who really looked at relationships from a different angle, which is way too far away from the thought of Sigmund Freud, where the pack ego state or the parent adult child ego state concept developed in the 50s towards the 70s till he was alive. The whole idea of psychology changed when it came to communication between people on different levels. So, for a common man, what would you say transactional analysis, which is slowly getting popular? I would say in the Western world, uh, it is so very popular, and like books of Byrne, which is like not available now. The 1976 was the last print for Games People Play, which is not available in India right now. So going out of print, that kind of a popularity TA has around the world. But in India, how do we explain transactional analysis to a commoner?
See, transaction analysis is a theory developed by Dr. Eric Berne, as he rightly said, a Canadian-born American uh, called Eric Berne. From his clinical experience, he step by step created this coherent theory and therapy. So that is why it is called so humanistic. And he has put it in a layman's language wherein everyone could understand.
Right.
See, he brought in this concept when Freud's psychoanalysis was ranking high. So he brought this out in the common man's language. So everybody who's reading this could easily understand. No psychological jargons are there, and it is very easy to understand.
So, if I have to say that when two people interact, as I had sent out a promo video to everyone, two people when they interact, as per Byrne, he says we have the ego states in us, the parent, child, and adult, and the communication between the parent, child, and adult of one person and the parent, child, and adult of another person could be a complementary or a cross transaction, or it could be in different ways analyzed. So, how far does it play a role in maintaining relationships or nurturing relationships?
See, looking into your behavior, you will find that you're composite and have three strands. As you rightly said, Bern called these strands or the sources of behavior that is in your personality as ego states. By ego states, he meant that the state of mind of a person at a given moment. So each person has got three ego states that is, parent, adult, and child.
Okay.
When two people communicate, your ego states interact to form transactions. See, that is what is coming out as your behavior. And behavior has five components. One is words, the other is tonality, the third is facial expression, your body language, and gestures. You might say that you think you understood what I spoke, but are you
Okay.
sure you understood what I meant? See, words will be conveying something, whereas your body language will be conveying something else.
Right.
That is what happens when the six ego states interact.
No, does it really hamper? relationships, these kind of transactions, how does it hamper relationships?
See, there are certain hidden dynamics happening behind when people communicate. So they think it's only words, but with the tonality that is coming out, a lot of hidden dynamics are there.
Hmm.
So that may invite the other person to come out from a different ego state. So if
Okay.
it is he is coming out from a different ego state, all the probability that the transactions may get crossed.
Right. So when you're actually looking at the relationship coach, like you are a relationship coach, does it really look into a husband and wife, parent child, or within the family, or does it look into a work culture where even Maslow's law could be applied to the occupational therapy? Does it apply on those levels, or is it to basic human family relationships?
See, everywhere it could be applied everywhere. I'll just tell you an example. A wife eagerly waiting for her husband returning back from office. Usually he comes in by 5:30. Now it is 6:30, and she is worried about what has happened to him. And as soon as he arrives, the wife asks, "Why are you late?"
Hmm.
The thing is that the husband doesn't answer. He just stares at her and goes inside.
Okay.
So the next day, when this wife shares this with the neighbor, her friend, I didn't say anything. I just asked him, "Why are you late?"
Hmm.
But the way she asked, that prompted him to come from a different ego state.
Okay.
And what happens next is that the usual quarrel crops up.
Hmm. So does it really mean that the words have a play, or the tonality, or the body language, or even the silence has a play?
It's not the words, but the tonality. That is very much important. You will have to be really careful about the tonality that you use.
Okay. So we are looking at the three parent child and adult state, or the pack ego state model, as the Westerners would call it. The parent being, say, a thought, adult being a thought, and the child being the inner feelings during childhood. It could be anxiety, it could be excitement, it could be fun, where the parent state would be on either nurturing or a very critical parenting level. So these technical terms, when it comes to a common space, how far does the training on transaction analysis help a person understand the problem and solve it on the onset itself?
See, normally when we speak about parent ego state is divided into two: the controlling parent and the nurturing parent. So that simple example will be your mom and dad.
Okay.
The dad will be more controlling, whereas the mom will be more nurturing. So, like that, parent ego state has it's a what you have copied from others. It is the source of your learned values.
Okay.
And the child ego state is your emotional reaction with its roots in childhood. So that's how it goes. And the joy of living resides in child ego state.
Okay. If you look at the Freudian level of analysis, psychoanalysis, and we look at psychotherapy, when two people come, it could be even a cognitive behavioral therapy or other kinds of modalities where those people are not involved in learning the technique, but just the use of the technique. But TA comes in handy where the person has to learn the whole.
Hello, can you hear me?
Does that, yeah, yeah. So does that create a difference where learning TA is essential for us to say practice it in our life? So how does the TA as a therapy work on relationships?
See, learning TM means it is an inward journey. You are embarking upon an inward journey so that you will come to know from yourself. It is not somebody else pushing it onto you. So you
Okay.
will come to understand, if at all, if you look into your behavior, you will find that at times you're coming from your parent ego state. The way your parents behave, the words the parents have used, exactly in the same manner that one of your either of your parent have behaved. And at times you will be behaving as a 4 year or 5 year old child, to a 4 year or 5 year old. Yet other times, you will be taking into consideration all the realities being in the here and now, and you will be coming out from your adult ego state.
Okay. So,
So it see understanding this is more easy. So once you start learning transaction analysis, as I said, it will be an inward journey. You will come to understand how your mental, your what is your mental makeup.
okay. So, does that involve a lot of technical study, or it is just the basic knowledge of TA which helps in reforming or the inward journey?
See, this is not a pedagogic system of learning. What we use is that we assist, we facilitate for the person who is coming into study to understand himself, and both has got to take responsibility. We as trainers take responsibility for giving in our expertise, as well as the trainer has to take responsibility for learning.
Okay.
So that means he has to cover so much of hours, which has been stipulated. See, what the ICTA operates on a particular syllabus, and you will have to cover that number of hours. So going through that, you will come to understand slowly but steadily.
During our sessions, like when I was doing my basic for transaction analysis, we had a couple who were completely estranged when they came and joined. And within 2 days of understanding TA, the final outcome after the session, they said we understood our problems and we are moving towards a better unison, or we are moving together forward in life. So, is it that truly that fast with everyone, or is it a one-off case?
See, all the people who come to learn transaction analysis says that, sir, we should have taken this course much earlier, because doing the basic course itself, people realize what is happening, why it is happening.
Okay.
So once the person understand that, it will be easy to sort out their problems.
Right. So it really takes 2 days of understanding to start the inward journey, and further studies could even improve their persona. Does that what it amounts to?
Yeah, as I said, ICTA has got different. The ICTA works on all programs are based on syllabuses. The foundation program, that is what we call the TA basic. That is for a duration of 12 hours. The syllabus is covered within the 12 hours. So that is only a tip of an iceberg. After completing the basic, you can opt for to do a diploma course.
Okay.
That is 150 hours. It takes 1 hour, 1 year to complete the course. And after that, you can go for the Bunyan BTA.
Okay. So once you become a BTA, then you are training people in transaction analysis.
Yeah, see, doing your basic, that is when you are just embarking on the journey of growth. And doing transaction analysis, you will come to realize what are your shortfalls, how you could correct. And doing BTA, again, you will come to know more about training as well as counseling. Counseling comes only during BTA. And after that, for specializing, you do the masters, MTA.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, it's really an honor to have such a vibrant audience. I would like to thank Renuka, Vibhushan. My mother is also there, Bhagyalakshmi, she is there. Gurmeet Singh, Parvati, Thomas Mani sir, my school teacher, whom I really value for having taught me computers. We have Ambali Sajivan, Rashmi Gopinath, Sonia Sebastian, Kanimuri Srinivasan, Benny, Roshni, Pradusha, and Amin. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, coming to the interesting part where the Burnian book, Games People Play. uh, when we talk about games and the ulterior motive, it becomes really, uh, to an extent, it becomes hilarious that why do people do such things? Because it seems very funny at times, the kind of games and the ulterior motives for which they are fighting for. What can be the, you've seen so many people and you've interacted with a lot of students. What is the basis of such kind of behavior with humans? Why do people play games on a Burnian level?
See, in the growing up stages, right from the moment we are born, we are getting molded by our elders. How to think, how to feel, how to behave. So getting out of this mold is not an easy task.
Hmm.
So based on this, you arrive upon in the growing up stages, you arrive upon certain convictions, and based on these convictions, you take a decision and come to a position which we call in transaction analysis life position.
Hmm.
Since this is taken in the younger stage itself, they hold it very dear to their heart.
Hmm.
In order to reinforce this position, people enter into games unknowingly. So what
Okay.
happens is that while talking to while away the time, initially the talk will start on a complimentary basis.
Hmm.
Going on like that, slowly you may get emotionally worked up by what the other person says,
Okay.
and suddenly what happens is that both of them doesn't know what has happened, but at the end of that conversation, both will be feeling bad about it.
Hmm.
See, to tell you a simple example is that in most of the places, the couples used to have a chit chat after the uh, supper, and they come and talk about the daily expenses, children's fees, all those things. And what happens is that in during our classes, if we ask these couples, how does this end? They say that it ends in a fight. So then and only then it will be possible for them to go and lie back on the two ends of the bed.
Hmm.
So unknowingly, why it is happening, they don't know. But when you
Okay.
have to learn transaction analysis, you will understand that I am in the habit of it's a pattern of behavior
Hmm.
that is unknowingly you indulge into.
Right.
So,
Right.
once you come to understand that, easily you can check yourself. You can say that yeah, here I'm going into it, better not.
So it is more of a self-realization which transaction analysis talks about.
Exactly.
So, does it amount to like if one person of the two partners, one person understands transaction analysis and the other person is unknowingly playing a game, wouldn't it become a kind of cross transaction or a kind of a beginning of a fight if the person who knows it points out saying that you're playing a game? That's a blame game which will start.
Yeah, one person will understand because see, you can clap, you can hear the clap only with when you clap
Have
with
the
two
both hands.
both hands.
So again, that could be a problem. So every say if it's a couple, you need to have like understanding. Both of them should have an understanding. So then only we can solve the issue.
True.
Right. Now taking it to the say office scenario, there you cannot have everyone trained in transaction analysis. Maybe a few of them are trained and they understand how behavioral patterns of people change, and probably they can change according to that. Or is there a solution suggested by Byrne himself how to handle such kind of games in the office?
Yeah, transaction analysis can be applied not only with the individuals but in organizations also. If the person see lot of cross transactions happens in organizations, and
Right.
that conflicts arise. So conflicts resolution can be easily done if one has got the knowledge of transaction analysis, and it is a good tool for management also. for time structuring as well as conflict resolution.
So it would mean that any HR professional, like if they are listening to us right now, any HR professional, it would be ideal for them to have a training on transaction analysis so that they can understand their employees better.
Definitely, I would recommend that. I would say that each and everyone in who is associated with HR should learn transaction analysis and
Right.
practice also. And learning is not enough; you will have to put it into practice.
Right. Now, the interesting part of how I was exposed to transaction analysis, I was very young and I had met Sebastian Sir, who had written the book Talilar Tenganamatam, How to Change Your Fate. And he actually talked about scripts and how a personality can be changed, how initially as a child we start conditioning ourselves with certain thoughts. And the whole idea, it led to that interest towards transaction analysis. So, if I were to ask you, uh, from a completely financial background, from commerce to transaction analysis, how was the change in your life?
See, right from my early days, I am the seventh one in the family, and I was always a bridge between the elders and the youngsters. So there was some sort of this thing was there in me, and when I was introduced to transaction analysis from I also was trained by KS Sebastian sir, and from on the first day itself, I told him that, sir, I am going to be with you.
Okay.
So that journey continued, and he is the person who took me around to most of these programs. I used to accompany him, and till his very last, I was there with.
Yeah, that's how we got introduced to each other through
Yeah,
Sebastian
that's
Seb. And
right.
he wanted all these games to be visualized as a TV show and to be brought out to public and how to reach out. He had great visions, which still I would say that it remains a dream, and I'm sure that they would one day be fulfilled as a dream come true. And coming to the scripts part, how can you explain that we write our own fate? Because TA strongly believes the scripts we write determines what we become, and the scripts are written by ourselves. So, how can we explain in common man's term how scripts work?
See, script, as we call it, like it is just like the script we have in a drama or a cinema. It starts with a one line story. That is what is called a protocol. Byrne calls this as a protocol. The relational disruptions that between the child and the parents or the caretaker, that is deeply imprinted on the minds of the child, and that will in later life reflect upon his relationship building, his health maintenance, and his entire life.
Okay,
So script is an ongoing program which
okay,
is developed in early childhood under parental influence, and which directs the individual's behavior in his most important aspect of his life. So unknowingly he is pulled into it. He is not aware that I have written a story like this, and I am being pulled by it. So, coming into transaction analysis, slowly you will come to understand that what is happening.
right, right. So, does that mean we have talked about the occupational scenario where HR professionals should be aware about transaction analysis? We have talked about relationship between husband and wife, or probably within the family, the transaction and the transaction analysis, how it helps. Here we come to a very important point where the scripts a person writes. So, the TA plays a very important role in parenting. How would you say that TA influences parenting?
Parenting.
Yes.
See, parents doesn't know they are programming their child. It is
Okay.
as if like a computer that programming a computer. When you buy a new computer, you don't have any programs written over there.
Okay.
So later on, these programs are installed into the computer. Like that, parents unknowingly program their child. See, lot of don'ts messages goes into it. That's what we call injunctions.
Right.
See, it is out of the fear of the parents that they say these things, but they don't realize how the kids take it. Their perception is entirely different. So this is being delivered right from the moment they are born in the growing up stages.
Okay.
So once these injunctions are embedded in them, later on when they learn language, they interpret in their own terms, which the parents are not aware about. It is only when they come for a counseling we will come to understand that he is having this much of these injunctions, and that is restricting him in his success towards life.
So, is it possible that those parenting errors which were done, those injunctions which were given, can it be rectified through TA?
Yeah. See, the thing is that life is cyclic. And Pamela Levin, who's a person who has given a lot of interaction to transaction analysis, and she is a person who came out this with this cyclic way of life. Every 13 years, this is repeated. You start with the being stage, being, doing, thinking, identity, skills, and recycling. This stage is repeated. So you get a chance. When you come to know about this, there is always a likely chance that you can take remedial measures in order to correct these stages. So whatever uh, traumatic experiences that has happened in earlier life could be made up if one comes to know and understand these things, how it could be done.
Okay. So I would also like to go back to one of the answers which you had given. You said too many don'ts or the injunctions have been injected, or probably the mind of the child is infected by wrong parenting. So can we say that the positive affirmations, or trying to tell them instead of don't go there, trying to tell them that do this, and why not you read instead of don't play with your mobile phone. So, such kind of positive affirmations, does that nullify such injunctions like at an early stage during
Uh,
parenting?
See, not exactly. It all depends upon how the child perceives it.
Oh, okay, okay.
See, there is always this languaging happening that is happening inside. So, languaging is the internal communication that happens within you.
Okay.
So, even if we give affirmations, the child has to take it in such a way that, in the way and manner we intend, as we intend.
So, how early can a person learn TA? Like, can a child start learning? What's the right age for a person to get into transaction analysis?
See, high school level, you should start slowly giving these classes. It could start with communication. See, all this serious stuff could be come later on. So communication is the best thing where you can start with the students. How
Right.
do you communicate?
Okay, so probably we look at the late teens would be the right age to introduce transaction analysis.
Yeah, see, that's a time when they are bubbling with energy. They don't know how
Right.
to spend it.
Yeah, it'll be difficult for them to say put them down on one space and learn this, right?
Yeah. So like it is quite challenging for them, and they will be ready to try out anything.
Okay. Okay. So, in the meanwhile, I'll be opening up the stage for everyone to ask questions and interact. I would like to also welcome Srijesh, Anjana, Chandana, Sakshi, and Sonia Sebastian to this. And now it's the halfway mark of Just Seriously Voicing Thoughts with me. I would request the listeners, if you want to interact with Jimon sir, all you have to do is raise your virtual hand and I can bring you upstage and you can ask questions and directly interact. And while you do that, let me get to the next part where the uh, we have looked at the starting point, probably teenage or end of teenage, or the time when a person starts a family, or when he has his own set of relationship, would be ideal for transaction analysis to start. And how far can this help in old age? Because we see that old age can really work on the thinking process, and they get irritable and they find it very difficult to handle things. How late can a person learn transaction analysis?
See, there is no age limit. What happens in the old age is his selection of his destiny, how he is going to end his life. See, we see that people become lonely. They may lead a loner's life.
Okay.
Script, Burn says there are only four endings for a script: be a loner, be a bum, go crazy, or drop dead. These are the four alternatives, but
Okay.
it has got different degrees. So you will find that nowadays aged people, they might, so one might say that they are being not cared for, but there is always their contribution towards it.
Okay, so it is the script which they had written on themselves during childhood, probably because of injunctions, or probably because of their parental influence or their peer influence, which actually leads to their irritability or peacefulness in old age. Is that what TA would say?
See, right. See, initially, in the infants, from the infant stage itself, the relational disruptions that the child has with his caretaker will have certain impressions, which is
Okay,
being recorded.
right,
And
right.
later on, in the growing up stages, he adds to that. And see, based on the early experiences the child has, the child decides, takes a decision. It's a tough word, or it's a good word, or it's a uh, mediocre word. So based on that, he takes up this position and lays out his plan.
Okay,
And once that is laid out, it goes into his subconscious, and unknowingly, that is the pull of the script that is happening. Unknowingly, he will start following it, and
so
he will.
so does that mean that whatever is happening in our life, we have decided and we move forward as, probably I would like to quote Bhagavad Gita where it says Uddharet Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasathe Atma Vahi Atmanopanturatma Varipuratmanaha. It actually says that you decide your success and failure. Was it a mention of the scripts itself in Bhagavad Gita then?
Very true. Life is decisional. It is
Okay,
based on the decision that you have taken in the early childhood that you have planned it out. So
right.
every child in early life decides how he is going to live and how he is going to die. And
Oh,
that
even that is determined.
and that plan that he carries himself in his head wherever he goes is called a script.
Right, right, right.
See, life
Yeah.
is full of situations. You are called upon to face situations on a daily basis. So as and when you face these situations, that's where Byrne says that the destiny of every human being is decided by what goes on inside his skull when confronted by what goes on outside his skull.
All right, all right. It makes it much more clear. We have Soumya Santosh, academic head, PKD School, Pulachi, and Soumya, the stage is all yours.
Hi, Dr. Kriss, and hi, Jimon. I just have
Hello, ma'am.
yeah, hello. Just have one doubt. If the husband and wife, if both of them learn TA and if
Mhm.
both of them know how to avoid cross transaction, won't the life be so boring without any conflict?
See, ma'am, cross transactions happen unknowingly. See, the words that will be delivered on the social level, and the uh, ulterior will be delivered without their knowledge. So your words will be conveying something, whereas your tonality and body language will be conveying the ulterior, and that may invite maybe an invitation for a game.
Like always before marriage, it's good that they go for some couple TA therapy.
Definitely, it'll help a lot. It'll help a lot.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. I have also done a basic TA course, so yeah, it has definitely changed me. It has actually transformed me. I'm able to distinguish like when to avoid conflict and when to, yeah, just
Yeah.
go with it. So
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's only the tip of the iceberg.
yeah, I've done just a basic course, but
Yeah.
it has really helped me in dealing with human bonds and human relations.
Okay,
So
so nice to know.
thank you so much. A question to Dr. Chris.
Yes, please.
Um, can you just uh, connect the three gunas and the three stages of TA?
But the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the Sattva, Rajo, Tamo Guna. But when you look at, if you cannot bluntly say that parental state is Tamo Guna or the child state is Tamo Guna. Uh, yes, there can be similarities. The three ego states, id ego and superego, as Freud said, or probably a parent, child, and adult, and the guna qualities, sattva, rajo, and tamo guna, as in Bhagavad Gita. Also, the states are three. The conditions or the level of understanding could vary. So there cannot be a direct correlation, but yes, you can find a similarity if you actually look at the three ego states. That would be a huge topic, actually, if I have to go into the depth of Gunatraya Bhag Yoga. I hope I at least get into a little part of the question you asked.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and you're welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, you can actually raise your virtual hand, and I can bring you upstage, and you can directly interact with Jimon Mantra, relationship coach, freelance trainer, and certified transactional analysis coach by ICTA. And in between, let me also thank all those who have joined recently, Shiju Ipin, and thank you very much for joining. If you have a question, just raise your virtual hand and I can bring you upstage. Jimon sir, when you look at the change in a person uh, after transaction analysis, do you feel like when she asked, life being very sober, no fights, being very calm and cool? So, does this kind of disruptions have you found? I mean, have you seen people who are really enjoying such kind of fights? Because the ulterior might be their script or the injunction would be such that they love these fights. Have you seen people like that in your experience?
See, a lot of people has told me that said we should have learned this much more earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you talk about change, it is always a likely chance that they could go back to a earlier version, unless and until you will be able to sustain that change.
Mm-hmm.
Sustaining that change happens only through transformation. So what
Okay.
you have to do is that you will have to do an introspection on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
How did my day went by? So if at all you find that, see, I could have behaved in some other way. See, you always have options. Transaction analysis gives you options, and you could choose which options I should
Okay.
use. So with doing that, a lot of your problems will be taken care of, and relationship could be maintained much more smooth.
Okay, so if I have to, as Soumya had asked a little while ago, if I have to take one verse from the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, it says, "Be all exist with these three qualities." And Byrne also says, every person has a parent, child, and an adult in him.
Right.
So, irrespective of the age, we have the parent, the taught, then you have the adult, which is the thought, and the child, which is actually more of an imbibed childhood memories and related to that. So, these three things exist in a person. So, how do we assess ourselves? How much time or what period of time are we on a parent state? What period of time are we on an adult state? Do we need to improve on the amount of period we should be an adult? Or will life become very sober if the child is completely lost? So these kind of assessment, how far it is possible?
See, there are tools in transaction analysis to identify how did I spend my day, what all time that we call time structuring. We have got a pie chart, and you that you will come to understand how much time I have spent in each of these areas, as well as there's a tool called OK Coral, wherein you will find that again like this. I how much time I spend in each quadrant. So for that, you will have to learn all these concepts and then start implementing it.
Yeah, knowingly or unknowingly, we have seen the books, but not understood it as TA, where we have the books called I'm okay, you're okay, I'm okay, you're not okay, I'm not okay, you're okay, such kind of states. Can we have a little more light on these states?
Okay, fine. See, as I mentioned earlier, in the growing up stages, right from the sperm and egg fuse and the zygote is formed, right from that moment, that is a cellular birth. From that moment itself, this disruptions could happen. Let us say that the 9 months and 9 days period went by smoothly. Everything was smooth. Then what comes is the birth trauma. That could be one of the reasons that we can go write a script in a negative way. So the birth trauma, then the early stages, early, growing up stages, wherein your needs were met or not. So, based on these early experiences, the child arrives upon certain convictions. I am good or I am bad. I am okay or I am not okay. The first relationship is with the mother. And if she is not concerned about the child or not taken care of the needs of the child properly, then the child gets the conviction that you are not okay.
Okay.
If everything goes well, the thing conviction will be that you are okay.
So
So
the ideal state would be I'm okay, you're okay.
I am okay, you are okay. So if everything goes well and it is fine, it is what a person grows into that stage. I am okay, you are okay. Otherwise, it is not possible to come back to that stage, but you will have to put in hard labor.
Okay.
See, other options are that there is something wrong with me. I am not okay, you are okay. Or I am okay, you are not okay. And the futile one is I'm not okay, you're also not okay. So these are the
Okay.
four options. Out of this, we select one as our basic life position. This is what called life position, and that forms the attitude, our attitude towards life.
Okay.
So based on this, you start living it out.
Right. That is why probably somebody says that everyone is pointing fingers at me. Like I am okay, but they are not okay. Or
Yes.
somebody, or at times in a life position, people tend to say that, see, whatever I do goes wrong. That everyone is okay, but I'm not okay. So these are life positions which can they be rectified with TA?
Yes. Once you come to understand that, you can be once you have when you become aware, then you will think about the options. Then you can slowly move on to the I'm okay or okay position. But growing into that position, you will have to. It is a hard task.
Right, right.
You need help.
So this could be even a living hell for a person if he does not understand that this can be rectified.
Yeah, unknowingly. See, when they come to group, that's why we have these groups. When they come to the group, lot of people, most of the people will be bringing in their problems, and even the that problem may be the same problem will be experienced by some other person. So he will be a bit reluctant to come out with that problem, but without him saying that, his problem will be addressed to.
Okay.
So that's what's happening in a group.
Right. Now, there are scripts which I have heard from Sebastian sir and Stephen sir and you, where we have something called the almost script, where on the verge of success, people give it up. This happens very commonly, and have seen many people who say that, no, I'm not able to succeed. How can we work on the almost script? Like they will never reach the success point.
Hmm. See, that is what we call the script process in transaction analysis. The almost script. Have you heard the story about Sisyphus? It's a Greek character
No,
who is
I
destined
would
to.
I would like the listeners to listen to it from you, sir.
Okay. See, this almost script people, it is like this Sisyphus. This is a Greek character who rolls up a stone up the hill. And when it is about to reach on top of the hill, somehow the stone slips and it falls down. You will find people like that in banks and all. They say that this time definitely I will get the promotion,
Right.
but at the last moment something happened that he didn't get the promotion. So why he didn't get the promotion is that he doesn't know that his behavior has caused some misunderstanding with his superior or senior manager, that he
And
will
they are
not.
doing it unknowingly.
That they are doing it unknowingly. That is this almost script people. And they say that I almost, even children say that I didn't get time, otherwise I could have passed the examination.
Okay. So
They
they
then,
almost did it.
yeah, they almost. That's why it is called the almost script.
Right, right. Now, listeners, here is your chance to interact with Jimon sir himself. So, if you raise your virtual hand, yes, I can bring you up stage and you can ask your questions. You're free to raise your virtual hand and you can talk to him directly. Now, coming to the important part, where how long should a person take to understand that he has such kind of issues, or how can a person do a self-assessment, even let's say to decide whether he wants to take up TA or not, for an understanding, for a better living or a better personality.
See, people have to come out of their comfort zone. Their comfort. See, Byrne says that every child is born a prince or princess, but parents turn them into frogs. So, a person who is living like a frog, he's quite comfortable with that.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to change that position. That homeostasis balance is maintained like that. So he's quite comfortable being the frog. But at the end of the day, he will say that, see, God has not given me everything. See the other people. See, he will go on cribbing like that. So,
Right.
decision he has to take. See, I have a chance, and if he gets into this, then it is possible.
Right. Now, that plays a very important role in decision making, also, like on an office level, where such kind of people can hamper the growth of the company itself.
Yes, definitely.
So, how do we explain to them that they have such a problem? It would be straight on their face saying that, no, you are such a kind of a frog now.
See, that is where if the HR people could understand the importance of transaction analysis, and proper training could be imparted to the uh, people, the employees, then they will come to know that, oh, this is my problem and I can easily overcome this.
Right. I welcome Nitya Gopi, baker at Sugar Turtle Cakes. You can interact with G. Sir directly.
Thank you.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Hello.
Hi. The PA is an absolutely new idea for me. Thank you so much for introducing it to us.
Pardon me, I didn't hear you clearly.
Oh, sorry about that. Is it better now?
Some sort of echo is coming.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you on speaker?
Uh, yes, I am.
So probably the speaker is giving a feedback. If you're on the headphones, probably you will sound better.
All right. Let me try connecting once again.
Now you're clear. Now you're
Yeah,
clear.
now you're clear.
Oh, great. All right. I was saying TA is absolutely new idea for me. And
Mhm.
thank you so much for introducing it to us. And I do have a question, or, can you please help me understand if TA can help or guide parents to raise confident children? You know, uh, guide that child to be a prince or princess that they are meant to be?
Yeah. See, the thing is that only up to 4, 5 years that the child is at home. Then his later on he is being put into school, and the teacher becomes the next parent.
Okay,
So there also you will have to be very much careful what is happening in the school. The script formation, the strengthening of the script could happen from the school itself.
okay,
So understanding transaction analysis will give you more options to look into these things. What is happening at the school? Who are his friends? All these things you will be able to look into.
So does that also mean, Jimon sir, that we need to have teachers who are enabled with the thought of transaction analysis to understand the child and the scripts they carry or the injunctions they mold into scripts?
Definitely, you will be creating a better world.
So ideally, if a school has teachers who are enabled with the thought of basic TA, then probably the school would bring out more princes and princesses
Yeah,
than having frogs
that's where
glorified.
the molding happens.
Right, right, right.
The-
That's really a good thought which we can work on.
See, at home, the quality time that the parents spend with their children, that is
Right.
not happening nowadays.
Uh, uh,
And most of the time, the kid will be at the school, and teachers will be the person who will be interacting more with the child. So, if the parents are not aware on a daily basis what is happening around, then problems could crop up.
so we need to have a mobile-free dining table at least about half an hour every night so that the parent and the child can really interact and get to know more, say, a kind of a clearer picture.
Yes, very much essential. Because what happens is that, see, earlier when we were young, we used to play with rattles. So now what happens is that the kid is being given a mobile phone to play with.
Right.
The toddler, they will be handling the mobile phone more.
True. Very
So
true.
it's a toy for them, and they become so accustomed to it, and it will be very difficult for you to take it away from them.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
if at all you do that, then they become rebellious.
Okay. So that starts there starts a problem and which can be solved at a basic level itself.
Yeah, once you understand that, see, awareness, that is the main thing. Once you become aware of it, things could be sorted out.
Right. Right. Nitya ma'am, I hope you got your answer.
yes, I did. Thank you very much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. I'm really happy to welcome author Manju K. Manohar, my dear friend, as well as a very, say, prolific writer and a person who coaches people to write also. Manju ma'am, yes, the floor is open to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris. And Jimon, sir, I was really intrigued on hearing your conversation, especially when you said all children are born prince and princesses. I was about to sleep, but then I saw this just seriously voicing thoughts live, and I decided to join in. And I'm really thanking God that I really joined in. Well, I had a point because I see that people switch on the TV, like
Hmm.
the mobile free concept is good. But along
Hmm.
with that, I feel, see, if the parent is just watching TV and just sits with the child by their side, again, they are not listening to the child.
Hmm.
So maybe we need both the parent and the child to be engaged in some common activities. Say, for example, maybe, yeah, reading could be one where the parent, if it's a very young child, the parent tries to read out something or makes the child read and then ask him or her what she or he understood from that. And I would say sometimes, just being available as soon as the child wakes up, if we can wish them good morning and wake them up in a pleasant tone, right? That itself set the day for the child, is my belief. Because if you shout at the child, right, you just at the morning, in the rush, because yeah, we are all stressed out, we have our hectic days and all, but if we start the day with a bit of kindness and, I would say, pleasantries, and then when the child wakes up, the child wants to share what it had dreamed. Even if you set a stage like that in the house, then automatically the child will grow up to confide in the parent. But if the child is trying to share, this is what I dreamed yesterday, and the mother or father shuts him up and say, I don't want to hear all that, just brush your teeth, get ready, go to school. So then, naturally, even if you spend 20 hours sitting with the child is not going to open up.
Very true. Yeah.
So, Jiman sir, what are
Yeah,
your
see, that is
thoughts on
the
this?
injunction getting reinforced because I am not wanted. The parents doesn't care; they don't listen. And there is a concept called stroke. We call it stroke in transaction analysis. Any act implying recognition of another person is called a stroke. And children need abundant number of strokes. Unconditional positive love. That is what parents can give to their children. Unconditional positive love. Wherever that fails, problem starts cropping up.
Right. Right. Jimon sir, I'd like to add one more aspect where, being a hypnotherapist, I usually say that the last thing what a child hears when he goes to sleep, like Manju ma'am had rightly pointed out, the morning pleasantries, but the last thing as he slowly moves into sleep, a child, what he listens to, will actually start becoming a kind of affirmation which he develops. Probably these days, when we are so stressed with work, we would say that go somehow get some sleep. I have so much of work. You are a problem. So all these things also become negative affirmations, which act as a tool for the child to become rebellious. So does that also amount to injunctions, and does that also develop into some kind of script which is negative?
See, that reinforces his convictions, which he had taken earlier. See,
Right.
not proper attention is not given to them, then naturally the child will say that my interests are not important in this house. So I don't belong here. So that sense of belonging will not be there.
Right, right. So that can be also very detrimental in the behavior of the child.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So we have a last few minutes. If you have any questions, you can raise your virtual hand and I can bring you up stage. It's to the listeners. And at the same time, Jimon sir, as a trainer and as a person who has lived throughout with so much of, say, transaction analysis and training and ICTA, what would be your advice to any person who is very fresh and new to transaction analysis?
See, our transaction analysis will be an eye opener for you. And once you enter into it, there is no stopping.
Right.
See, even uh, me talking, I still go on learning more and more. I still, to borrow the words of, say, I feel myself like a child on the seashore, picking up every curious shells that lies over there, while the
Right. Right.
vast ocean lies before me still undiscovered. The ocean of transaction analysis. That is how I see myself. So once you enter into this, there is immense scope. You will come to understand why, who am I, why do I behave like this, what all options I have, how do I communicate, what are the hidden dynamics happening in my communication, and what is my stroking profile. All these things you come to understand, and life becomes so easy. and you will go to sleep peacefully.
Right, right. Now, we have talked about games people play. I'm okay, you're okay. We have talked about books which have the books which carry the idea about TA. What would be the easiest book you would suggest for a person to start reading about TA? Is it these books from the Western world, or would you suggest Sebastian Ser's book or any other book which
Okay,
talks about
book name titled TA Today.
TA today?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is by Ian Stewart and Van Joyce.
Okay.
Here today, that's simple language, easy to understand. That's a good book. And You Can Shape Your Destiny by K.S. Sebastian sir. That's also a good book to
Yeah,
start,
in Malayalam, it
to
started off
begin.
as the first one. DC brought it out as Talilil Tenganamata.
തലയിലെ എഴുത്ത് തിരുത്താം.
Tirita. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, right. So, really, a whole new world opened up for a lot of people. And I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this precious 1 hour with us. And thank you very much for being here on Just Seriously Voicing Thought with us. And it's an honor to host you, sir.
Thank you so much, Chris. The pleasure is mine. I had a very nice time being with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, listeners, thank you very much for having been patient listeners and the right kind of questions. And thank you very much for making Just Seriously Voicing Thoughts with me, Kriss Venugopal, a really happening space tonight. And thank you very much. Remember, Just Seriously Voicing Thoughts with me, Kriss Venugopal, 9:30 every Thursday on LinkedIn Audio Room. Thank you very much and good night. Have a peaceful sleep. Thank you.